What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today, we're going to talk to you about Palantir. They just came out with their Q1 earnings. I want to go over some of the current data points and whether this sell-off is justified or not. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So right now, it is down 13.76%. Kind of a crazy day if you think about it. A lot of volume, so 98.01 million shares being traded, 43.5 is the average. A lot of institutional attention being brought on today, and so a lot of people are buying the dip. At the same time, a lot of institutions are also selling. So based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, anything that does indicate as a bid right here is essentially a sell. So it's kind of mixed, which of course that's why you can kind of see this sell-off right here. And so their actual numbers itself were relatively good from their earnings, but I think what is being questioned is just the evaluation, and plus the run-up leading up to their earnings was kind of significant. So as it stands right now, I feel like right now is the fair market value for Palantir. But aside from that though, you also do see shorts. So I like to look at a lot of the data points, and definitely not here to say that Palantir is a short squeeze, but I like to analyze what shorts do. And so right now they could easily double down because there's a lot of shares available. You can see that through Interactive Brokers in excess of 10 million. But they're not doubling down. If anything, they are returning 1.15 million, which if you kind of analyze that, it shows that today is a overreaction, significant one in fact. So 4.28% of the free float is being shorted, utilization 4.96, 81.9 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost of borrow average is 0.31. So as I said, definitely based on the fundamentals, this is not a squeeze play, but by them returning some shares, kind of signals that it's an overreaction. Looking at this right here, so $39 million in calls being purchased versus 22 million in puts. So a lot of money is getting into Palantir, both through common stock and as well through options. Sentiment wise, 49% of all the options being done today are bearish, but still, if you kind of think of it, it's somewhat evenly divided between bullish and bearishness and whatever else. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I actually did, prior to their earnings, I actually did short it. For full transparency, I did short it because at these prices I felt it was too high. I did close it after hours yesterday as it was selling off around the mid $23 range. But I did go long at $21.49, 2,000 shares, and that was through Wealthsimple. It's more of a swing trade, but I really do like their earnings, needless to say. So I do feel that today is a significant overreaction. You see a lot of dark pool transactions as well, so you do see a lot of large institutions behind the scenes really buying the dip, if that makes sense. So based on Palantir, these are some of the latest analyst ratings coming down the pipeline. So you do have a $25 one that was done through Citi, Tyler, who does have a 49% success rating, also a $35 price target, Wedbush, Daniel Ives, 53% success rating, and Daniel has always really liked Palantir, so I think that was kind of obvious. I do feel $35 might be in a little bit too high, but then again, a lot of these ratings are 1 year out, so still something to consider. RBC did give one yesterday, $9 price target. Rishi, who does have a 51% success rating, then a $20 Deutsche, Brad, 69% success rating. So like, this is the difficult point of any AI play or just innovative company. Nobody really knows what the appropriate valuation is. And this is actually one of the biggest things why, again, it's selling off, is just people just don't know how to appropriately place a good multiple on Palantir. So this is why you do have a low of $9 and then a high of 35. It is all over the place. But as a consensus, $21.89, and that does represent a 1% upside. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But like I said, with all the dark pool transactions, you'll probably see a lot of these bigger names increasing their position today, such as Vanguard, BlackRock, and many others. So currently Vanguard does have a 9% stake, BlackRock 4.17, so probably BlackRock will be adding to their position today. But yeah, still looking at the breakdown, currently institutions hold 883.98 million, strategic entities 130.62 million, and then other 1.12 billion. And so this is as well why a lot of people are very big fans of Palantir, because Other is aka retail. So this is a very big retail driven stock as well. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But getting right to it, let's talk on some technicals and whatever else. So right now with it at $21.55, it's slowly pulling down slightly, but it is between this S1 and the pivot. So $20.69 is going to be that next strong support. And then essentially $22.13 is going to be that next strong resistance. I did bring up Palantir in my video, my pre-market video, and I did say most likely it was going to orient itself towards this pivot point, largely because of just looking at the numbers itself. They're not all that bad. So I felt like this would be a buy the dip kind of moment, but clearly larger institutions have other plans. So it seems to be really pushing down. Again, whether it touches this $20.69 this week, most likely not. And you'll probably find at least a floor around the $21 mark, but still definitely something to keep in mind that this is going to be the next strong support. And a lot of people, I think retail, of course, on social media are calling for it to be sub $20. But overall, I really do like Palantir's earnings. I like what they're doing for the foreseeable future. Very good earnings, in fact, as a whole. So I think right now might be a good opportunity to buy, such as I did. And then aside from that, on the actual chart itself, it did transition from the higher to the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. Luckily enough, right below it does have that 50-day moving average at that like $21 mark. So again, that's going to be a very strong support. Not as strong as that S1 as I kind of mentioned, but still that is going to be something to watch for it to hold. And then aside from that, leading into their earnings, you do have Stochastic at roughly about 80 something. So that is considered very overbought, and that's why you do get the kind of excessive volatility today as well. But with that said, you do have a bearish deviation, so red line above the white. So again, you kind of have that forming, and a number of retail investors are just completely getting out today. So let me know your thoughts on Palantir. What is your takeaway? Why do you think, aside from the multiple, was there anything that was said during their earnings call that would really justify this significant of a downtrend? Or what's your takeaway on that? And give yourself a shout out if you have been buying over this last little bit. If you've been selling, what have you been doing with Palantir? But one final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 7 fractional shares of the MAG7. So pretty kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. So with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.